Welcome back, dear viewers. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Hala Kuwait on KTV2, the family channel. And I'm pleased to be joined by our distinguished guest, lawyer or attorney Jabr Alfadhalah, excuse me. Good evening, Jabr, and thank you for joining us on Hala Kuwait.
Thank you for having me. I'm pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now, Jabr, as we move into the season of people wanting to travel, especially the holidays coming up, we'd like to discuss the rights of the passengers that are about to travel. So we'll start with the basic question, which is, what are the basic rights of passengers traveling within or from Kuwait?
So there is a general authority here in Kuwait for the civil aviation, so the Authority of General Civil Aviation. They set rules according to domestic laws and international treaties, for example, the Treaty of Convention of Montreal, Chicago, and Rome. They set the rules to make sure that there is connection with the local security apartment to ensure the safe flying from Kuwait also to Kuwait. On the other hand, also according to the law, the most rules that generate here from Kuwait authority, they impose a strict rules to make sure that even in the ground service in any platform of the airport must be secured all the time. On the other hand, they set the procedure to seek for any compensation if there is any breach of obligations happened between a passenger and the flight company.
And how does Kuwaiti law protect passengers in case of, let's say, flight delays or cancellations?
So Kuwaiti local law of the general aviation, civil aviation, they get some codes or some rules from the Montreal Convention, which deals with this situation of cancellation or any delay of the flights. So according to the law, if any traveler faced a delay in his flight more than 3 hours or a cancellation of his flight, he can seek for compensation for amount of around 6,000 SDR.
And this amount maybe has changed or increased?
Yes, so the SDR points, it's a point valued from the IMF, so every day it's changed, but nowadays it's roughly around $1.3 for each point. The Montreal sets the rule according to the specific compensation that doesn't exceed in this situation more than 6,000. It was around 6,000. Actually, it is 6,500, somewhere around there. Before, a few years ago, it was only 4,150. So when we're getting more into it, we can see that the value, it's been increased.
That's interesting because as you were answering, I thought of a question that are there different, let's say, treaties between countries or conventions that affect these rights that we have as passengers, the jurisdiction basically as we enter it?
So there is a multiple convention or a treaty, as you said, but the main 3 conventions regarding what people usually face or the traveler face is the Convention of Rome, Chicago, and the Montreal. Each one had set a specific rules according. For example, when I'm talking about Chicago treaties, all of the rules there deal with the aviation accident which happen on the ground. Or on the sky. They don't. This convention doesn't deal with problems or breach of obligations that happen usually to travelers, as the Convention of Montreal did.
I see.
So each convention sets a rule, and those conventions, 72% of the countries around the world, around 120 countries, are parties of those conventions.
That's interesting to know, of course. Now, we'd like to shift, sir, and would like to talk about what sort of compensation can travelers claim if their baggage is lost or damaged.
So in case of loss of baggage or any damage, or even he didn't receive his package and the loss of it, or something missed. According to Montreal Convention, and which is applied here in Kuwait, according to the General Civil Aviation Law, there is a certain amount, which is 1,000 SDR.
Yes.
Those values are the frame of the compensation value to someone who lost his bag or something missed from his bag, or it was breached or damaged. But this, I'm talking here about the checked-in packages. Any cargoes, the value is, we're talking about around 27 points for each kilograms, but mostly for commercial goods. Now, maybe someone, or maybe you ask me if my bag worth more than 1,000 SDR points.
Yes.
How do I make sure that I get compensation? When you check in the airport, you must declare that there is a specific items in your bag that valued more than the 1,000 SDR. And for example, if you have any jewelries or whatever, you have to specify that, because if you will ask for compensation later on, the framework will be 1,000 SDR unless there is any declaration about specific items or goods inside a checked-in bag.
So unless we declare it, it's a fixed amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why in some cases we see one person, his compensation was around 500 KD or 450 KD, and someone 2,000 KD. It's based on if you declare what's inside your bag or not.
So have there been cases of people maybe having something not of value and taking that fixed amount?
Okay, let me be clear and simple. It's not a fixed amount. It doesn't exceed 1,000.
I see.
In the context of losing a bag or a luggage being damaged. But I have dealt with a few cases that someone seek the compensation for more than 1,000 SDR, and some people, they get even less than 1,000 SDR. Sometimes we can say that the company just compensate a person who lost his bag with just 50 KD, because the 1,000 SDR, it's the frame, it's the general amount.
Yes,
so it's up to negotiating, and then you can seek it out to file an official complaint.
Well, Attorney Jabr, we appreciate, of course, you clarifying that. Now, I'd like to shift gears once again and talk about, are there specific rules for passengers with disabilities or special needs in Kuwait?
Yes, there is, but it's according to the disability law here in Kuwait, not according to the general civil aviation law. All the private sector and public sector infrastructure must have specific tools that help the disabilities people. For example, wheelchair, electric internal transportation, etc.
And what legal steps can a passenger take if an airline refuses to provide assistance or compensation?
So if any passenger faced the situation, he must file official complaint to the Public Aviation Authority in the same day if it was this situation. So for example, a person, he went to the airport, he couldn't travel for any reason, let's say the flight was cancelled, he have in the same time to file an official complaint to the Public Authority of Civil Aviation.
Now, Attorney Jabr, is it fair to say, I'd like to follow up that question by asking this question, is it fair to say that passengers must document everything, from photographing their luggage to if there's a cancellation, to have that officially in words written by, let's say, the airline or...
Exactly as you said, and it was common sense, but it's also set in the legal rules that you must, when you file a complaint, you must have your evidence that showed what you lost or what the flight was cancelled, and if you was having, for example, someone having a meeting in another country, you have to provide all the documents and paper to support your accusation or a complaint.
So how does Kuwaiti law regulate refunds or for cancelled or rescheduled flights?
So it's according to the Montreal Convention, it's around 6,000, more than 6,000 SDR. A person or a traveler could seek as a compensation, as a general rule when I'm saying SDR, around 6,000 SDR points, and that could be after he arrived or if it was cancelled before the departure.
I see. Well, Attorney Jabr, we'd like to pause here as we do have a report to show our dear viewers, and we'll be right back to the questions. Dear viewers, as usual, our camera crews and everyone behind the scenes have been working very diligently to bring you the best content. So with that, we have prepared this report. Let's watch it together, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back once again, dear viewers, and I am pleased to be joined once again with our distinguished guest, Attorney Jabr Alfadhalah. Now, would like to ask you about, are there any protections for passengers against overbooking or, let's say, denied boarding in Kuwait?
So the most situation that we faced around the world, the overbooking, also the denied of departure of any passengers. Overbooking, actually, it's there is a protection according to the Kuwaiti law, also the Convention of Montreal. But I would like to give an example also while I am Please. Talking about it. So according to the Convention of Montreal, any delay or cancellation, delay for more than 3 hours, or overbooking or cancellation, all of them has the same value of compensation, around 6,000 SDR. Which is the value point that converted to the local currency.
Yes.
The most cases I faced with is the overbooking. Someone, because he didn't make any type of online checking according to the aviation company, within 24 hours he go to the airport, they told him, sorry, you cannot fly with us today, we will give you another ticket, we will provide you with another flight. He could be delayed to something important to him, etc., for a meeting or whatever. First of all, we have to know, is there any agreement between the carrier and the passenger regarding the overbooking situation? For example, some international well-known aviation company, they set a rule that you agreed on it when you make any booking from a travel agency or by the traveler itself. That it said if you didn't online check-in 24 hours prior to the departure of the flight, it could be not cancelled, could be overbooked. So the company, for commercial reasons and the financial reasons, they want to know who exactly will travel in this flight. In some other cases, it's not the situation. Somebody doesn't have to make an online check-in or an online confirmation of his ticket 24 hours prior to the flight. In this case, he could ask the compensation that I was saying about. Well-known regionally aviation companies, they require to have an 24 hours online check-in prior to the flight. But in other cases, sometimes a person, he already checked in, he know where his seat will be. He go to the airport, then he faced another situation where his seat been changed. So even in that case, the whole situation under the delay or cancel or overbooking value of compensation.
I see. Very informative, and we do appreciate it.
Very
of course.
Details.
Yes, yes. And I hope the viewers are learning as much as I am, and maybe we can use this also interview as a reference in the future. Now, we do have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more questions. Dear viewers, we move on now to this short break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers, and I'm pleased to be joined once again with our distinguished guest, a lawyer here in the studio, Mr. Jabr Alfadhalah, of course. Now we move on, sir, to the responsibilities of the airlines. What kind of responsibilities do airlines have towards passengers during emergencies or unexpected events?
So in unexpected events, in those situations, and the necessity, the obligation to the airline is minimal because they couldn't figure out, they couldn't know if something will occur, unless if it was elegant from the company itself. On the other hand, in case of emergencies, we have also to know, for example, if the flight was cancelled due to any emergency, what type of emergency? If it was maintaining emergency, something they could avoid, the traveler can seek a compensation. If it was any, let's say for example, there is any terrorism events or whatever happened, or someone in the airport, they found with him something illegal, they try to shut down all the flight. In this situation,
security measures.
For security measures, exactly. The traveler in this situation cannot ask for compensation but he can ask for another flight ticket. If there is any compensation, further he can seek he knew, or let's say the General Aviation Authority said this emergency caused by A. In this case, he could ask in the civil court compensation from those A who had breached any security measures. But overall, if the emergency occurred was unexpected, in this case, the minimal obligation will be occurred to the aviation company. But I will give you another example. Some measures could be taken. For example, the handbag canopy, or on the top of the head of any travelers in the plane. If it wasn't secured from the cabin crew, and some bag fall down, hit someone in his skull, in his head, and he had a severe injury. In this case, he could ask for compensation. It's around 123,000 points, if you can imagine. Also in the event of death. So there is a multiple values for each situation. But as a general, if emergency could be avoided, or any happened that could be avoided, in this case, yes, if any incident happened, the aviation company will face consequences according to the Kuwaiti law, and also according to the Kuwaiti commercial law, and beside the Convention of Montreal rules.
Of course. Now, how can travelers file a complaint or seek legal help if their rights become violated?
Okay, so there is a compensation board according to the Kuwait General Authority of Civil Aviation.
Yes.
This board of compensation, it's a new upgrade to the Kuwaiti aviation law. It was established in 2025 or 2024, less than a year. If any occurs happen to a traveler, he could file an official written complaint with his document and evidence, and he can file it in the Kuwait General Aviation Civil Aviation Authority. He could seek a compensation from the declaration of administrative rule that will be declared by the compensation board. One of them are from the court is a judge, one of the head of the compensation board. And if the traveler didn't like, or he felt injustice in the value of the compensation, in 10 days he could appeal it to the same board of compensation. And if he want to follow up, he could take it to the court.
I see. So are there differences when it comes for passengers' rights? For domestic versus international flights under Kuwaiti law? You touched on this earlier, but can you expand?
Yes, okay. So let's go back to history. Each country had a different aviation rules.
Yes.
But according to international law, must have a unified codes that be obligated to all the parties of this treaties.
That they must adhere to.
Exactly.
Yes.
So for example, when incident happened with the travelers according to the Roma Convention, before it was set, I guess, in 1955 or 53, follow up some amendments on it. The Convention on Montreal, it was in 1999. They established the rule that governed international unified guide to all the members of the convention. 72% of the world states are a party of this convention, most of the countries around the world. So after unifying all these codes, each country set their own law, but in a way that doesn't conflict with the international treaties.
I see.
Chicago or Montreal in this cases. All of these unified rules internationally make only for one common sense solution, to have international unified rules for every travelers, people according to international law and Kuwaiti law. On the other side, some rules, specific rule that each country or each member of this treaty could set or establish to face their own, let's say, security matters, commercial matters, financial matters, but in a way that doesn't conflict with the international treaties. So they have to work with each other.
Well, Attorney Jabal, this was very educational, and of course, My personal opinion, I think this interview will age very well, and I hope that our dear viewers at home that are watching can use it as a reference, especially that the traveling season is happening soon and the holidays. So we'd like to thank you for stopping by even for a short time and sharing your insights and educating us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Now, that was Attorney Jabr Alfadhalah, of course, attorney at law. Now, we'd like to move on, dear viewers, to this report, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.